Right. So the next song we're going to be talking about is Austria. Now, Austria will be performing in fifth position, so straight after Greece, and it'll be represented by Vincent Bueno, who is originally from the Philippines but has made a career and I think some kind of heritage in Austria. Completely call me out on that if that's not true. And his song is going to be called Amen. No, not the Slovenian one. But basically, yeah, have a listen to Amen and yeah.
Amen. Amen. Tell me, is this what you wanted? Is this what you wanted? Amen. Amen.
In the battle of the amens, I feel like I'm going to say something that's going to be quite unpopular and quite controversial when I say that I personally think this is the better one. I think a lot of people say Slovenia is the better one. Like, it's more interesting, but not personally. I just prefer this, and I found myself listening to it quite a lot and quite enjoying it. But this year is so strong, I don't see a place for it in the final. However, we've seen in the past where Austria really pull it out the bag when it comes to something that can be quite jury friendly, and I feel like this song has that potential, but in a year as strong as this, I'm just not quite sure what's going to happen. I wouldn't be upset if this qualified, but I definitely think I could name 10 songs in this semi I would rather see in the final than this one. But that's not to say that I'd be upset with this qualifying. I personally think it will come around 12, 13 because I do think the juries would save him from like coming like dead last. But I don't really see anything that special about this.
I'm here to be somewhat of the foil to Jazzy's opinion in that I actually do think Slovenia is probably the stronger Amen this year. I think neither of them have a strong chance of qualification, but I think this is possibly slightly more likely to qualify by virtue of it being in the slightly generally weaker semi. Again, there is a strong chance that this might get overshadowed by Greece if they do pull off this incredible staging that they're trying to pull off. Vincent's a fantastic singer. The song ultimately doesn't really do anything for me, and I find it possibly a little repetitive. I think it's very much going to rely on Vincent himself and his stage presence and things like that. And whether that's enough to get him through this particular semi-final, I don't know. I think there are songs that are more ballady that are possibly stronger, and I think might mean that it's quite difficult for it to get to the final. But like Jazzy said, Austria have proved us wrong many times in the past, and this is a very jury-friendly song, and he's got a very jury-friendly voice. So you never know, really. It could surprise us.
And I do think that Austria tend to, even like when they do badly, they tend to still stage their songs pretty well. Like we saw with Limits and Pandia, that was staged beautifully, even though that came like 17th in the semi. So it's like Austria know how to stage their songs, and this song kind of does lend itself to some quite strong staging. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Limits deserved better.
It did. Justice for Panda. Yeah, so basically, I am going to yet again diverge from Rosie again. This is where like all of our problems start coming in. I think this is the better of the two amens, but I do agree with her that I don't think either of them have a reasonable chance of making it through. The song itself it's very pleasant and it's very nice to listen to. But in such a strong year, I'm not entirely sure if pleasant and nice is enough to get you through. And it's a shame because, you know, we've seen like this is Vincent showing versatility, because he's said it in interviews before, like this style of song is just not something that he would typically do. So he's really showing us something that's like new for him and like a bit of a personal sort of development, really. And it's just a shame that he had to send it this year. I feel like if he sang this song maybe around like 2013, 2014, this would have absolutely stormed it. I think it would have done like far better than what it is. But Eurovision has evolved. I don't know whether or not this song can do it. I like that, like there's some bits of it that I think really work. Like in the last kind of chorus, or like in the video when he manages to like break through the final door and he makes it outside and he's like, yeah, like all that stuff. I think that's like that kind of crescendo moment, I think is really, really good. And I think it really fits in with like the style of the song and his personal, like it's very allegorical. I just don't know whether or not it will do it. I mean, Austria, we know, can stage a song really well, but I think it's too safe in such a strong year. And I expect it to potentially get 12th or 13th. So not entirely like last place or anything, but I do see it potentially struggling. If it does make it through, I would be quite shocked. But if it does make it through, I don't think it'll do that well. I think it'll probably end up in the bottom 5 somewhere. We'll just have to wait and see, really. I'm sure he'll give a fantastic vocal performance anyway, but you never know.